Hello together and welcome to another Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Today it's a very quiet market or trading day, it seems. We need to see because in Germany we say quiet waters means an incoming storm is coming or something like. I would be very careful at the moment, and to be honest, I flipped a little bit too long just because I just wanted uh, to make the quick dollar just to make a bigger short afterwards, but they are doing exactly the same again. That's sideways run, while the weights ratio is rising, indicating they are sending more bitcoins to the exchanges, and that's something I don't like at all. Okay, so if we take a look to the weights ratio at the same moment, we can see that the weights ratio 30 hours moving average matches very well to what the weights ratio is doing at the moment, showing 88. That's just still too high, and right now it moves in a range between 90 and 92, still too high. So yeah, that is not necessarily looking very bullish in my opinion. But to be honest, I didn't check the data yet today, so we need to see. Also, I just wanted to see here because you remember the last time I have said be careful with such kind of sideway run. It's because afterwards something happens, right? Bullish, bull trap, again, sideway run down. And that's something we need to see. But in my opinion, a little bit something changed. We have some indicators looking bearish, some, well, at least those where I would say they could look bullish. It's a little bit depends on the interpretation, and that's something I don't like at all because that's something it depends on your bias, and I like to see some data that's bias free, where you don't have big interpretation space and just yeah, you can see okay that's bullish or that's bearish. So we need to see. Wedge ratio 30 hours moving average. As mentioned, we are still like in an upward trend. Stablecoin reserves on exchanges. I would say it's the same. It's in a yeah, just lifting up. And the stablecoin supply, it looks like it's lifting up a little bit. But we need to see because yeah, if we wanted to see what's happening here, we just need to go to go to go to go Jesus, just to go to coin market cap and just check what happened here in the last redeem action was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday on Tether. And if we check, for example, here, that's USDC, and you see that's a different picture like Tether, right? And so it's looking really different, like they are replacing a little bit Tether's market cap. I mean, I don't know what's going on behind the curtains, but if that means that Tether could be in some trouble soon, it will have an impact to the market. It doesn't matter if they are going to try just really to replace Tether for USDC. We need to see. So yeah, 88, that's just too much. We need to see what's going on in the market. So let us take a look to the flows. Well, I would like to add, I forgot that actually, the 1 day resolution weights ratio. That looks really bearish in my opinion because you can see we are hitting our last. It's not all-time high because in the beginning of the records of weights ratio, we have seen in 2013, 2014, uh, yeah, such kind of weights ratios, but we have to separate both because in 2014, 2015, of course, they traded just because of the price of Bitcoin, bigger volume than now. So, and that's what it makes it so bearish, in my opinion, because we can see that's a problem of whales. Okay, so even here, that was 2019, we didn't reach that high level. Even here, we didn't. So, yeah, that's really huge what's happening at the moment, indicating that whales are selling more and more and more. And the last time we were here, we reached that um, that peak here, and you can see what happened afterwards. And now we are reaching it again. So what does it mean? Well, in my opinion, we will go down even more. The question is if we go up before. That could be possible. I mean, just remember what happened here, right? That was a really huge candle with a big candle wick, very volatile. Maybe something like it's going to happen again. So we need to see. Well, also here we can see what happened to the flows. You remember yesterday it was very active, and I said, "Ooh, we need to be very careful." And since then, almost flat, really almost flat. So it's possible that these guys just have completed the preparations for the next coming price action. We can see some outflows, 700 outflow, 800 outflow, but at the same time, the same here, 800 inflow. So it seems um, they are just, yeah, taking all these inflows. But the question is, what happened here? Because we received here a lot of bitcoins, and yeah, I can see them here at least, and in my opinion also because of the volume. I don't think that we have distributed all bitcoins already, all of them that we have received just in the last few days. So we need to be very careful, as mentioned on Twitter as well, because yeah, market makers were also very active in the last few days, and usually these guys are for me, um, yeah, the best indicator to see when we have reached the bottom. It's my personal favorite indicator. If I see this guy starts to accumulate, I will flip ex extremely bullish then. But I don't see that. Usually they start to accumulate when the price is low, and when they have filled the bags, they start to lift up, but they didn't start to accumulate. I don't know if they want to exit. If that's the case, that's worst case. I mean, they are just giving the risk of whatever is going to happen in the future to someone else, right? So we need to see. We really need to see. Even here you can see 380 million inflows in stablecoins, but at the same time 350 millions. And we had here 316 millions inflow, but at the same time 274 millions, and just an hour later 290 millions. They are, yeah, I mean, look that. That's the net flow of the stablecoins. We need stablecoins to buy. I mean, it looks more red than green all the time. And some people are telling me, well, we are accumulating. Really? I wouldn't be that sure, to be honest, but we will see. So let us talk about what's happening related to futures. We can see here what the funding rate did. So demanding more long, then more short, then more long, then more short, and at the moment we are on the long side. So indicating they are demanding more long doesn't mean we have more longs, and that's something we need to have in mind. But the open interest rise with, well, on both sides, but at the moment in the last few hours, it lifted up with a positive funding rate, or at least indicating people are demanding more longs than shorts. And that's something where I would say, hmm, that's interesting. The only problem I see is that the leverage ratio is also lifting up, indicating that traders are becoming again gamblers. I don't know why they do that and why. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just because they are so sure that's a bear market. It's always fake rallies up and then down afterwards. I mean, we see this sideway run. Of course, if you know that's a sideway run, it would make sense to use that very tiny trade zone and long and short with high leverage, but only if you know what's going to happen next. Otherwise, it's just, yeah, too risky. However, stablecoins net flow indicating the opposite of the spot market, and more green than red indicating more stablecoins arriving on derivative exchanges. And even here, the Bitcoin net flow related to derivative exchanges is also indicating more green than red. Also here indicating we are detecting more Bitcoins arriving than outflows. If we take a look, for example, 180 million versus 180 million inflow outflow. Okay, that's almost neutral. Um, but yeah, I mean, we are not talking about what we have seen just last week, 700, 800 million. I'm feeling the market is cooling down at the moment. Even here, it's not the same. We received here almost 4,000 Bitcoin, and even here 2,000, 3,000, and now just trading. Yeah, we are noticing 1,500 is the max today. So inflows, outflows, bit more. As you can see here, we received 1,480 and outflow 1,750. So also not really looking bullish in my opinion. Let me just refresh that. Okay. Interesting what I'm seeing here. Shorts rised a lot since yesterday. A lot. A lot, a lot, a lot. While, yeah, longs maintained. We still have more longs than shorts, but that's interesting. It's really interesting. Well, Bitfinex, I don't care. BitMEX on the long side. I just care about that here. Also here indicating they are expecting a push up a bit more in at least than more dump at the moment, and even here as well. So the sentiment is changing, but very slowly. I don't know what's happening. In my opinion, we didn't reach the capitulation phase. Not yet. Um, I remember last year, and in my opinion, the difference with last year is the stress level. Last year, the dump was very aggressively. It was just a very common institutional move, like I simulate like I'm going to crash the market, okay, to raise the stress level on retailers where they start to generate some fear. And when we reach the bottom, of course, they know what's the bottom, not we, and they maintain there, okay, and that's where capitulation starts. That's a process, but we didn't reach that level yet. And people are still expecting high price levels in the future, in the short term future, and I wouldn't sign that. So if they really want to make such kind of capitulation, we didn't reach that yet. And we can see here shorts declined since yesterday on FTX, and longs are coming in again. That's something they didn't happen last year. And in my opinion, we didn't reach the bottom yet. But we need to see. Um, we can, I mean, yeah, I would say we flipped again. Yesterday it was almost neutral. It wasn't clear if we had more shorts than longs or the opposite. Now I would say we have more longs than shorts. So the long volume is rising, the short volume is declining. And yeah, we have some high leverage shorts here. I mean, that's not big volume, but maybe 30,000, 400, 500 could be interesting. And I think that's where we will go to. And then we need to see. In my opinion, we could retrace afterwards. Oops. Yeah, that's it. So also that here looks like fake rally again. They are preparing something. And FTX is leading again. So they have started to buy more here. People have started to sell less and to buy more. Actually, that's what the volume delta is telling you. That's the cumulative volume delta. And yeah, we see that here as well. I mean, Coinbase, I don't care anymore because they are buying, 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 buying. It looks like at Coinbase nobody is selling. And yeah, Femex still declining. Yeah, Binance not big. And Bitfinex, that's by the way BTC USDT perp. Okay, you can see who at the moment is pushing up. Not only them, but because it's the aggregated. But that's, I mean, if we take a look, they have started to buy longs with futures a lot. They support it with spot, but that's it. Okay, so that's quick accumulation. While we went down, they started to buy, and since then maintains. Okay, so even here. So in my opinion, quite accumulation is not necessarily bullish. In my opinion, that's just armor for the next dump. Just go up a little bit, dump afterwards, and that's what's happening at the moment. It seems we just formed like an inverse head and shoulders before, a little one, and that's playing out at the moment. I need to see if we can see DXY. Yeah, DXY, nice. As a little bit as forecasted, they failed here twice and now it's going down, but it will go up soon and then the whole picture will change again. So interesting. We can also see here what's happening to the market makers. These guys are not accumulating. You remember that's what these guys did last year. Aggressively dump, aggressively accumulation. Okay, while the price was going down with different fake rallies. It's not happening yet. We are just checking that here. It doesn't look like we are done. So that's where I say, as soon as I notice some move here, that would be bullish, really bullish. Okay, even if we go down even more, I will start to buy as much as I can because I know these guys are preparing the next bull run. That's not happening. These guys are the market makers. They know exactly when to buy. They know exactly when to sell. They they create the price action, and I don't know. It doesn't look bullish to me. And we can see that here as well. I mean, like they did just few weeks ago before we have started to, well, few weeks, that was last week. Um, a lot of activity, price down. A lot of activity, even not the same volume. We need to see what's going to happen next, okay? But that was a lot of activity and nothing happening. And that's something I don't trust at all. So we need to be very careful here. Okay. I don't see anyone here buying big. I mean, the little whales maybe. Let me change the color. This one, but they first of all they don't have the best trade behavior, and I don't know. We need to see too early. But this ones, that's the whales with 100 to 1000 Bitcoin wallets are not really accumulating. These guys have wallets with 10 to 100 Bitcoins. Okay, so in my opinion, doesn't really look very bullish. We need to see. So exchange walls. That's Coinbase. Coinbase waiting here at 31.5, but nothing big. And you can see how many walls they placed. That's big. That's indicating if you want to go down, do it. But be very well prepared because it's going to be very costly. I just want your bitcoins or prevent something. I'm not sure yet. Deribit still look that. Wow, that's big. Like we have here below 25. Bitstamp also here similar to Coinbase. Nothing up. Binance Spot like Coinbase. Nothing up. Bitfinex Spot waiting there at 20,000. FTX more down than up. Well, Kraken, why not? Waiting there at 34 and 25. 34.5, yeah. Bybit, why not? Nothing. BitMEX also waiting at 31.5. Well, close to our POC, so why not? That's something I have mentioned different times. 25. Binance Futures. Yeah, here a lot below 28 too, but also waiting here at 31.5 and 32. Doesn't look like they want to let them close the CME gap, it seems. Bitfinex derivatives. Wow, look that. Haha. It's We have a lot of sell and buy orders here, even just little ones, tiny ones. Kraken futures nothing, and last but not least, FTX spot. FTX spot was limiting at 28.2. I mean, we have a lot of tiny, yeah, and that's spoofing, I guess. So we need to see. Let us talk about the personal conclusion, but 31.4, I'm mentioning that, and I don't know, since how long now, that 31.4, the pork, the main pork, is still a level, a critical one that's going to decide what's going to happen next to the price. If up or down, we need to stay above of 31.4. That would indicate me, then I would add more to my long in case we do that, because then we are going to, in my opinion, go to close the CME gap between 34 and 36. We need to see.